Doing good. I just had to pull up like every every app to make sure that Kevin wasn't emailing me, wasn't trying to phone call me, or that if something went wrong with this, that you guys weren't going to try Skype right away. So I was like, shit, I should probably open that all up just in case something happens, so I'm ready no matter what avenue you go. So it was a little bit of like overwhelming, going like, how much fucking technology do we need at any given point?
I'm telling you, man, it's endless.
Well, I don't know if you have someone right behind me, so we'll get right into it, so that way I don't take up too much of your time.
Yeah, all good, buddy.
So I have the pleasure of talking to Morgan Rose, who's most known as the drummer for Sevendust. But we're here to actually talk about the solo EP, Controlled Chaos, which is coming out Friday, November 27th. First off, on the Sevendust front, congrats on the Billboard. I don't want to call it a nomination because today was Grammys, so I'm like in nomination mode. But basically, breaking into the top 10 with the record, Blood and Stone. How does it feel to be 20 plus years into a career and still getting accolades, and people still supporting the new music you're putting out versus just, you know, the old stuff that everyone knows and loves already?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I was just telling the guy I was talking to before you, I was like, it's just Sevendust law, you know, and I'm such a, you know, half glass, half empty type of asshole sometimes that, you know, people would be like, "What a prick," but I mean, I was like, you know, we get a top 10 Billboard record first time in our career, and we can't tour it. I'm like, they're like, "Congratulations, dude, top 10 at Billboard." I'm like, "Cool, where are we going?" They're like, "Nowhere." I'm like, "Awesome." So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, as far as the feeling of it, I mean, the people that support our band are so loyal. I mean, they're like, I've said it before. I was like, you know, there are bands that have more fans, so to speak, you know. We don't like to really call them that. But they might have more people, but ours are small but mighty. If you were to take ours and level off every other band's best that they have up to that number, they'd have no shot. Ours are rabid. You know, they're loyal, they're crazy, and we love them for it. So, you know, this is just a testament to them. I mean, we're not the boss. You know, they're the boss. So they're the ones that went out there and did what they did to put that number there.
I think that's something that a lot of people possibly actually forget in this. You know, because you hear everyone always say, like, you know, we make the music that we want for ourselves, and actually kind of surprisingly, very recently, I forget who I was talking to, was like, hey, no, you know what, we make, it was Frank from Hatebreed, was like, no, I mean, we make music now with other people in mind, because you kind of can't think so narrow-minded if you're trying to capture that crowd at a, you know, some of these big European summer festivals that you guys go do, that you kind of have to appease them at times too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how conscious it is on our end. I mean, we've been lucky enough to where the band's so diverse that, with the exception of us doing the polka record or something out there really out in left field, it's like, I mean, when we went from doing, you know, Home to putting Angel Sun and Live Again and stuff on Animosity, and then all of a sudden people are like, Animosity's my favorite record. And I'm like, how's that possible? You know, we're not the same band. But we built a lot of loyalty through that, and I think that a lot of the lyrics, Lejean's delivery, and the lyrics that the band has put out there, I honestly believe just struck a chord with people. I mean, I've just heard too many times that those songs and those words help them through tough times, that, to me, I just look at it and think, that must be it. Because there's a lot of music out there, you know, you got to say something to connect with the people. There's got to be something there that they can take in, you know. I mean, I know that we're a fun, or at least I've been told we're a fun band to watch live, and we definitely enjoy it. But there's got to be some more substance than that, because there's tons of bands out there that are just murdering shit live. I mean, if it was just that, and that was the only thing we had to offer, we're 100 years old, man. We wouldn't be I don't think we'd be competing with that stuff anymore. So, you know, it's just it's a really beautiful thing to have such a connection with the people that care about us.
Well, I think it's actually a good segue into your solo record, Control, or solo EP, I guess, for now. I think there's a lot actually that I connected with, and surprisingly, I felt like the answer was almost like a swerve tactic of sorts, because it's like that's the only single out, and when I got the rest of the record, I was like, maybe it's because I like things that aren't the standard, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, I would feel like that would be something I would expect from you, being one of the vocalists of Sevendust, where it's honestly songs like Come Alive and really Clarity and Exhale that really for me are like, fuck, this is what I would have wanted to hear to get me excited about this and not make me feel like it's just an obvious offshoot of, well, these probably were just some songs that Morgan brought to the Sevendust camp and they weren't accepted. And
that's so wild that you say all this, because that's a great, all those are great. That's just great that you said that, because that was the conversation. The conversation was always, what's the objective here? And I was like, there is no real objective. It's just getting some music out there, and the people that support our band, they support us collectively, as a whole. So Clint puts a solo record out, people go and listen to it. John puts Projected out, people go listen to it. When Lejean puts his out, they'll go listen to it. And I knew it was all going to happen. I mean, when I put mine out, the question was, do we go with a song that is kind of definitely closer to the Sevendust world, and not only that, but vocally has enough screaming in there that it's like, yeah, there he is, that's the guy. Oh yeah, look how cute. There's some vocals in here that aren't screaming, and then, oh yeah, there's the screaming stuff. I mean, or do we go with something, that's way more mellow and vibey and darker, And the idea was, let's go with something. Let's we're just gonna release this thing as like a grat track. There's only 5 fucking songs on the thing, but you're calling it a grat track. It's like, this is a grat track, and then here's the other one, and now your record's done. I mean, it wasn't like I had 9 more, in the chamber waiting, but that was a decision, and I don't really know which one I would have gone with still, because they haven't heard the record yet. You've heard it, but they haven't.
I think the thing for me about it, though, is, it's, and having done this for almost 4.5 years now, you hear all the cliche things when you're talking to someone about a new record. I wanted to stretch my songwriting muscles. I wanted to kind of showcase that we're not just this one thing. But to me, you have always kind of talked about your love of so many different genres of music. And, kind of like I said, Exhale and Faster Man kind of give me, at times, something that reminds me of Nine Inch Nails, but also kind of goes in like a Massive Attack kind of vibe, where it's like you're kind of marrying these two things together. And to me, that has me more excited to see and listen to more of the record, going like, okay, well, what else you fucking got for me? Because I don't hear those examples on, other than obviously covering Nine Inch Nails, but I don't hear those in Sevendust necessarily. So that would get me more excited to listen to this record. So the more I kept listening to this, and I mean, congratulations. I think this is a great EP, and it really sucks because one of the questions I was going to ask is, what else do you have in the tank right now? Are you writing new stuff for this? And where are you kind of going with it? But it sounds like this kind of was it so far.
Well, I mean, I had no idea. There were 2 parts to it. One was I had no idea whether, when the world was going to open up. So once Sevendust gets going, it doesn't mean that I can't write, but it definitely, that starts to take on some priority, that it's not just the being gone and touring that and dealing with that, but it's the just the availability of being done to record and do what I would like to do. So that was the first part of it. The other part was I didn't know if anybody really gave a shit. I mean, in all honesty, it's like if I put these 5 songs out and no one cares and they go, well, that was fun, please don't do that again, then I'll continue to write music. I just probably wouldn't put another Morgan Rose record out. But I had a lot to say over, what I had gone through over the last year. So, and I have plenty more to say, but I didn't think that it was right for me to go any deeper into it, and I didn't think that it would even get its due, because like I said, I don't think the attention span to human beings these days allows the ability to put a full record out and for them to really absorb the whole thing, at least lyrically. I mean, there's just way too much shit going on to expect them to listen to 10 or 12 songs and be like, man, every one of these things really affected me lyrically. You know, I mean, you're lucky if you can get through one.
Well, I think what was kind of interesting about this is how really might have the, I always mispronounce it, but I think it's a Oboreoris or whatever, the snake eating its own tail. This album does a really good job kind of doing that. I mean, the way the album starts off with the intro going into the answer and then kind of just little, you know, almost mood pieces kind of keeping the vibe of the music going to then the way the record ends to then basically coming right back into itself. It's a really nice self-contained 5 songs, which just makes it so listenable and keeping it on repeat. How much attention were you paying to the track listing when you were making this?
A lot. That was my idea, to not let it be. I wanted it to be seamless. You know, it's only 5 songs. You know,
like a score before that idea.
That was kind of the idea. When I was coming up with that idea, it was like, you know what? I was telling Andrew, because he was kind of putting it together, and I was like, I want to hint Exhale earlier in the record. You know, I want them to hear that piece of music earlier in the record so that it's not a complete shock when they hear it. I think, you know, it's not reinventing the wheel. That's been done before, but I just thought that it was a nice touch to put that out there at the end of Faster Man. And so that was like the main objective was to keep it seamless and to build a mood and make it kind of like just a little journey. You know, like it's a 25, 26 minute little stroll, you know?
So, I guess kind of my last 2 questions, Kevin just sent me a text saying we got to wrap this up soonish. You know, vocally, you're kind of hitting some interesting vocal ranges on this. To me, I get a little hints of like Scott Weiland at times. And then I think it was more on Faster Man that kind of gave me like the Lane Staley vibes, but I couldn't really put my finger if it was because of the doubled or maybe even tripled vocals. But what are some of your vocal influences maybe that would surprise some people?
I mean, I'm a Major Minor guy, so anybody that gets into that world you named, when you said 9 Inch Nails and Massive Attack, I was like, Jesus, man, like that's like, those are 2 of my favorites right there. I just like that Major Minor Egyptian type of feel to progressions. So guys like Cornell that, you know, I could obviously never sing like, but I could absolutely be influenced by how wonderful his voice was and his note choice. It's funny because, you know, Lane Staley, of course, I mean, that's the king of Major Minor, but, you know, it's funny because that's really what I'm more interested in, is that kind of stuff. I like, you know, Elton John. I like sad music. So I'm more influenced by singers that are not afraid to dig into that part of it, you know, and to be guys that just, there's something about the feel of that hits me hard. So those are the guys that I've always loved. I mean, I just started thinking about it, and it's like between Weiland and Lane and Cornell, it's like you would think that I had grown up a big Seattle grunge fan, you know? I mean, but it wasn't, that wasn't what it started with me. Before those bands were ever in existence, you know, I was listening to things, you know, that were affecting me with those type of progressions. And, you know, like I said, the sad chords.
Yeah. My last question for you, and then I'll have you plug your socials or whatever you want to plug. When things go back to normal, what does the live version of this look like? Are you going to be kind of like a
Steely Dan
Henley kind of thing, where you're, you know, drumming and playing, or are you going to come up front and actually be more of a front man?
Oh God, it could be neither. I mean, it's like, the thing is, when I did the record, I realized that there's a lot of responsibility for some guys that goes into keeping their voice together. And, you know, I'm not responsible enough to take care of that thing. And I do not want to go out there and pull one of these deals where it's like, you know, everything's recorded these days. I don't need it. it's bad enough falling apart as a drummer. I don't need to be up there in front doing that. So the only thing I really could see is me and Clint doing something that would be, because me and Clint have Call Me No One. I took over I just told Clint I was going to be the drummer of his solo band now. I mean, I just told him that, it was like, it's cool, you went out and did your thing, and I loved watching it, and I'm so proud of you, and you got that out of your system. Okay, I'll go ahead and take that now. He's like, huh? And I'm like, yep, I'll go ahead and take that drum spot now. Okay, so now I'll play drums for that, and then then I have this thing that he played guitar on. So it's like it could happen where we do something where it's like
an evening with.
I mean, me and Clint, if the people that support Sevendust wanted to see it, it would be really easy for me and Clint to go out and do a club headline tour. I mean, we could, the catalog between Call Me No One and Clint and me is large without playing one Sevendust song. So
that would be
I can see that happening.
Where can people find you online?
Morgan 7D is usually everywhere. All of them usually. Okay. There's alienfreakware.com obviously, and then there's this Morgan FKN Rose.com, which is, I believe, the new Alien Freakware thing. Since I did the record, they had to move that over there. And yeah, all the socials, the Instagrams, the Twitters, all that is Morgan7D.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Thanks so much, buddy. Enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, that fucking sucked. Shao Kahn, what'd you think?
That was pathetic.
Yeah. Coach, what'd you think?
Fucking embarrassing!
Okay. I mean, I knew it was gonna fucking suck, but I think those guys were a little rude. Austin Powers?
How about new?
Okay, I thought we were gonna get the Austin Powers vote. We did not. John, use that for your podcast. It fucking sucks, but you knew what you were getting into. It's your own fault. It will result in less listens. You're gonna see a decline in listeners if you start the show with that. You're gonna see 30 seconds in, the number will plummet. And I will be there at the bottom of the plummet saying, I fucking told you, don't use this fucking riff. It sucks. But it's yours.